All right. Hi, everyone. I am now coming to you live, and I am teaching you scientific notation and doing math when you have numbers in scientific notation. So if you have well, let's just take a look at this first example. If you have 4.3 times 10 to the sixth, what does that look like when you have to multiply that number by another scientific notation number? Okay. And we put kind of the rules here for you if you need to reference back to them. So I'm just going to highlight them here real quick and read them so it makes sense here. When you multiply two numbers, you multiply the coefficients. That means you're multiplying this, right? And then you you multiply the coefficients. I highlighted the wrong thing. You're multiplying the coefficient. So you're going to take 4.3 times 2, which is going to give you the 8.6, because that's what, when you double 4.3, that's what you get. And then the next part, you add the exponents. So I have that in an orange color. And so adding the exponents, I get 6 plus 2 is going to give me times 10. So 6 plus 2 is 8. So that's a quick way of how to do this kind of in your head. Another way that you may want to learn how to do this is actually using your calculator. And so this is something that may be new to a lot of you guys, but I'm going to exit from this screen and I'm going to show you how to do that problem that we just did on a scientific calculator. Okay, so here goes the scientific calculator. Okay, and this looks a lot like many of the calculators that you guys are using. Now, if you have a different calculator than this, you're going to want to see me because we have to make sure that you know how to use your calculator. Some of you have TI-30s or some of you have the Casio brands, all of which are totally fine to use. It's just not the calculator that I'm going to be using for most demonstrations. So if you're in cohort C, make sure during that cohort C time that you drop in Zoom and get help on this. Or if you're in cohort A or B, make sure you check with me during your in-person days so we can get this squared away. Okay, so to do the 4.2, that first part, that coefficient part, which is what I think that problem was. Yeah, 4.3, okay? So 4.3, so you're just gonna type in 4.3 on your calculator, pretty easy. And then what you need to do is you're gonna hit the second button right here, okay? That second button that you have right there is going to give you all of these things that are in orange, okay? So that second button is gonna give me the E. Oops, I didn't hit the second button. So I'm gonna go 4.3, second E, and that E on your computer here is a double capital E, and it actually only appears as a single capital E there. So just so you know. And then you need to go and type in your exponent. And in this case, your exponent is the 6. Okay, so I'm going to go back, and my exponent is 6. So that E is the whole times 10 part. Okay. Then you are now multiplying. You are multiplying. Come on. You're going to multiply 2 times 10 to the exponent 2. Okay, so I'm going to go back. So I got to multiply, oops, delete 2 second E to the second power and hit enter. And there's your answer. Now, because you watched the previous video, you know how to take this answer and convert it to scientific notation. And you should know that it's 8.6 times 10 to the 8th because you added your exponents. Okay, so that's just using your calculator. Pretty straightforward, just knowing that that E on your calculator needs to be typed in as second and then the E button. And that E stands for the times 10. You don't have to hit times. You don't have to hit times. The E does the times for you. So don't hit times. That's where most people make mistakes. So again, a lot of people go 4.3 times E, and you don't need that times. Please don't hit that times, okay? So that should help you figure out how to do math with scientific notation on your calculator when you're multiplying. So let's go back, and now we got to do scientific notation with dividing two numbers. Okay, so it says when you divide two numbers, mine is now, my thing is stuck. But when you divide two numbers, you divide the coefficients, and then you end up actually subtracting the exponents. Okay, so pretty much the same thing as the last one. Instead of looking at this, you are going to want to, I gotta close out of Notability here. Instead of multiplying the coefficients on this one, since you're doing division, you're going to want to divide, okay? So let's just highlight this real quick. Divide the two numbers. So you're gonna wanna divide the 4.2 by 2, and then you are going to want to subtract the exponents, okay? So that means you're gonna subtract the 6 and the 2. Okay, so 4.2 divided by 2, pretty easy, 2.1. So that will give you this orange answer. And then you subtract the exponents, so 6 minus 2 gives you that 4. And that's another way of doing it, okay? Next part is when you move the decimal place for the coefficient one position to the left, you divide the coefficients. I'm not going to demonstrate that because that's putting numbers in incorrect scientific notation, so you can kind of ignore that. But this should give you a brief overview of how to do it. And again, if there's questions, ask away. Drop us emails, send us not a Facebook, a Schoology message, and we're here to help. Okay, bye everyone.